Welcome back everyone, Mudford here. It's early November now, trying to get my leaves done. Bought this nice Husqvarna 150 BT backpack blower to help with that last leaf season, and already have a little problem with it. My boy was using it and stalled, wouldn't start. Looked like it was about out of gas. Mixed some gas up for him, and he tried starting it. Couldn't get it to start. He's like, "Dad, I need help pulling the rope." And I'm like, "Well, that's weird." So I tried to pull the rope, and she's stuck. And I look down in there. Yeah, if you look just right, you can see the piston. And there's a hole in it, which really isn't ideal. But this thing is pretty new. 2022 is the manufacture date on it. It's 2023 now. So I'm going to go ahead and tear it apart, see if we can fix it. So I think the first thing I got to do, I've never worked on one of these before. Worked on a lot of small engines though. First thing I'm going to do, pull all this plastic and crap off and get a look at the engine. Looks like this recoil is going to be in the way of getting the orange plastic off. So we're going to go ahead and pull that. We'll probably get some of this off and then get the exhaust cover off next. Right now I'm just going to start pulling these. These are Torx bit screws. This is really handy. This is just a Harbor Freight little tool I bought. It has a bunch of different Torx bits on it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to get these off. So I thought the different color would come off separate, but they are the same. So the only one that was hard to get to was this bottom one. Could not fit that in. Had to go with a ratchet. 1/4 inch would have been better, but mine was set up on a 3/8 for the T27. Squeezed it in there, got it. Now that we have a look at this engine, this might not be that bad of a job on doing the top end on it. We just got to get a few more things off here. We'll get the fuel make it happener off. Probably have to take the covers to get to these bolts, I'm assuming. And then we got a couple of bolts for the exhaust. Pretty simple. Those are Allen head, so we should be able to get those. We'll just tear it. Then we'll just tear this top end of this motor off. So you just have to spin this plastic wing nut type thing off, and you get this foam filter in the cover, and then what kind of passes for an air filter, which was pretty dirty. And get down to our carburetor, and then we'll see what happens here. I think these go all the way through. I think the whole thing's just gonna fall off now, maybe. Yep. So the carburetor's off and out of the way. That should be good enough for us. Okay, now I'm just taking these two muffler bolts off. They're a 5mm metric Allen wrench. So I'm just going to do that, and we'll see what we get. Well, the two bigger bolts hold the cover over this, the heat shield, and then they go through the muffler. There's also another one. Fortunately, just one on the outside. I'm glad there's not one tucked back in on the backside. This is another bracket holding the exhaust on. So now we can pull that out of the way. And this is exhaust gasket and heat shield kind of all in one. So we got that out of the way. Now we just need to take this off. We'll pull this adapter off because it's going to have to come off eventually anyway, because I think we're going to be replacing the cylinder and the piston. Okay, those two bolts just popped right out pretty easy. This one came out fairly easy too. Oh, I think I just dropped it down in the cylinder. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Those are access holes for down here. So we need to get a Allen wrench that's going to go down through here. That's long enough. It's got to go all the way down through from the top and hit those. So hopefully we got something that'll do that. I think I do. I knew I had something that would work for it. I got a set of these Pittsburgh from Hobo Freight. This is the one. Let's see what it is. It's 4mm, it looks like. Fits right down in there. They're coming right out. So I'll get all 4 of these out. We'll pull this sucker off and see what kind of carnage we see. So I got it loose. There's quite a bit of debris down in there. This is a relatively small bottom end. I don't know if I can take it apart or what. Hopefully we can get it cleaned out. The piston is stuck, so it might take a little persuasion with a hammer. But hopefully we can get it out and see what the problem is, if there's anything more with the bottom end, or if that's going to be good. If we can get a piston and a cylinder for this and a few gaskets, I think we're in business. This is like, I want to say $400 or $500, I don't remember. But I think I can get this stuff for probably under $100 and have this thing back running again. And the rest of it is brand new, so I think it's worth it. Let's keep digging though. So it took a little bit of persuasion with a little hammer there. Got it apart. And it's completely trashed. Little piston. Completely trashed. So I don't even know if we can save this bottom end or not. We'll see. We'll dig into it a little bit and see what we got. So we'll see if we can get this cleaned out. So the fuel tank was super easy. Just had to tip it up, and there's 2 screws going from underneath. Little torque spits ones. And was able to get the gas tank right out of the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, but I'm not sure. This is going to be more of a pain now, because I'm sure there's something holding that blower fan on from the other side. So this is getting to be a little more fun now. So with as much as I've had to take apart on here, it's been really easy. So this stud on here goes through right here, and there was a little nut. I think it was an 8mm, and that popped right off. And then these covers had some screws in them, and they kind of hook on here and then hook to the orange part of the blower here. 3 on each side, they popped right off, and this blower is right out. The only thing holding it to that is a zip tie holding the wiring. So I pulled this cover off on the fan, so it pulls intake air in from right behind your back, and it sucks air in through the sides here. Pulled that off. So that escalated quickly. This is where I'm at now. Took the clips out of the piston, took the piston out. I realized I can't split the case until I get this piece off. This is what the fan hooks to, and it needs to be like pressed off or use a puller, and I didn't want to mess with that yet. It's really dirty in here, but I did get the I did manage to get the piston off. So now I'm going to take some brake parts clean and clean everything up and get all the crud out of here and blow it out with some compressed air and make sure this is all right. And if I think this is good, I'll just order the new piston and cylinder and all the gaskets.